Seniors, have you noticed this? The stairs that once felt so easy now leave you breathless. Standing in the kitchen for more than 10 minutes makes your legs tremble. Or maybe when you wake up in the morning, your legs feel heavier than your body can carry. If this sounds familiar, let me tell you something shocking. Weak legs are not just a normal part of getting older. They are a warning sign, a red flag that your body is losing strength, circulation, or even essential nutrients. And if you ignore this signal, the consequences can be devastating: dangerous falls, loss of independence, even life-threatening complications. The truth is, falls are now the #1 cause of injury and emergency hospital visits among seniors in the United States. Every single year, over 36 million older Americans fall, and many never fully recover. But here's the good news. You are not powerless. You can take steps literally and figuratively to rebuild your strength, protect your legs, and reclaim your freedom. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 biggest hidden reasons why your legs are getting weaker after 60 plus. A few crucial, often overlooked solutions that most doctors don't take the time to explain. I'll share stories from my own patients, simple tests you can do at home, and practical steps you can start today. So if you care about staying on your feet, climbing stairs without fear, and keeping your independence for years to come, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why your legs are weakening, you'll know exactly what to do before it's too late. Let's start with the most silent but most destructive reason for weak legs after 60: muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia. Here's the truth: many people don't realize your muscles begin shrinking as early as your 30s. But after 60, this process doesn't just continue, it accelerates. If nothing is done to stop it, you could lose up to 30% of your muscle mass by the time you reach your 80s. And when you lose muscle, you don't just lose strength, you lose balance, independence, and the ability to live life on your own terms. Think about it. Have your thighs started looking slimmer? Not because you're dieting, but because the muscle itself is melting away. Do you feel a heaviness in your legs after just a short walk around the block? That's not laziness. That's sarcopenia. Speaking, I'll share a story. A patient of mine, Bill, age 68, was a retired firefighter. He spent decades staying active, but after an injury, he stopped exercising for a year. When he finally came to see me, he couldn't climb the 2 flights of stairs in his own home without holding onto the rail for dear life. His thigh muscles had visibly shrunk, and his calves felt soft instead of firm. He told me, "Doc, I feel like my legs aged 10 years in one." The good news, with the right plan, Bill was able to reverse much of this decline. He started with something as simple as chair squats, standing up and sitting down from his dining chair 10 times a day. We added light resistance bands, daily walks, and most importantly, more protein in his meals. Within 6 months, he was stronger, walking 2 miles a day and back to playing with his grandkids. Now let's talk science for a moment. As we age, our bodies experience what's called anabolic resistance. That means our muscles don't respond to protein as efficiently as they used to. In your 20s, a small serving of chicken or eggs might have been enough to stimulate muscle growth. But after 60, your muscles need more, about 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal, to trigger that same response. And here's a mistake I see all the time. Many seniors actually reduce their protein intake, believing that eating less meat will protect their kidneys. But unless you already have severe kidney disease, cutting protein often does more harm than good. You end up starving your muscles, and they waste away even faster. So what's the solution? 1. Eat protein consistently. Aim for eggs or Greek yogurt in the morning, salmon or lentils for lunch, and lean meat or beans at dinner. Don't save all your protein for the evening, you need it spread throughout the day. 2. Do resistance exercises. You don't need a gym. Chair squats, leg lifts, or a simple set of resistance bands are enough to stimulate muscle growth. 3. Move every day. Even 10 to 15 minutes of walking engages your muscles and tells your body, these legs are still needed. The lesson is clear. Muscle loss is not inevitable. You can fight back. And every step you take, every bite of protein you eat is like casting a vote for stronger legs and a more independent life. Remember Bill. He once thought his best days were behind him. Today he says, "Doc, I didn't get younger, but I sure got stronger." And you can too. Now let's talk about another hidden culprit behind weak legs, poor circulation, or peripheral artery disease, PAD. Many seniors tell me, "Doc, my legs just feel heavy, tired, sometimes cold to the touch." Others complain about cramps that show up after a short walk, but disappear once they sit down. These are classic signs of circulation problems. Here's what's happening inside the body. Over time, cholesterol and plaque can build up in your arteries. Think of your blood vessels like highways carrying nutrients and oxygen to your muscles. When those highways get narrowed, traffic slows down. The result, your legs don't get the fuel they need. They grow weaker, tire faster, and become more prone to cramping or even infection. I remember a patient named Robert, 72 years old, a retired factory worker. He came to me saying, "Doc, I can't even walk across the grocery store without my calves burning like fire." After a simple walking test, it was clear he had PAD. His arteries were so narrowed that his leg muscles were starving for oxygen. Left untreated, this could have led to non-healing wounds, infections, even amputation. And here's the frightening truth. PAD doesn't just affect your legs. It's a warning sign of clogged arteries throughout your body, including your heart and brain. In fact, the American Heart Association warns that people with PAD are twice as likely to suffer a heart attack or stroke. Now let's talk about common mistakes I see. Too often people chalk up leg cramps or fatigue to just getting old. They pop pain pills, rub ointments, or simply avoid walking, but ignoring PAD doesn't make it go away, it makes it worse. So what can you do? Let's break it down into practical steps. 1. Walk even when it hurts a little. The best therapy for PAD is actually walking. By pushing your muscles to use what little blood supply they get, you stimulate your body to create new pathways for circulation, a process called collateral circulation. Start with just a few minutes and build up gradually. 2. Stay hydrated and watch your salt. Dehydration and high sodium levels can cause swelling and worsen circulation. Aim for water throughout the day and keep processed salty foods to a minimum. 3. Quit smoking completely. Smoking is the #1 lifestyle factor that worsens PAD. I've seen patients dramatically improve their walking distance within months after quitting. 4. Use supportive habits. Warm foot soaks, gentle massages, and elevating your legs at night can all help blood flow. But remember, these are helpers, not replacements for walking and medical care. And don't forget, if your legs show signs of slow healing wounds, persistent pain, or constant coldness, it's time to see your doctor. Sometimes a simple ultrasound of your arteries can reveal PAD early when it's most treatable. The lesson here is powerful. Circulation is life. If the river of blood slows down the land, it nourishes begins to wither. But the opposite is also true. When you keep your blood moving through walking, hydration, and healthy habits, you give your legs a second chance at strength. Robert, the patient. I mentioned earlier, started a walking program, quit smoking, and improved his diet. Within 6 months, he doubled his walking distance. Today, he proudly tells me, "Doc, I don't just shop at the grocery store, I walk the whole mall with my wife." And that, my friend, is what good circulation can give you, freedom to move without fear. Now let's talk about something many of my patients don't even realize is connected to weak legs, nerve damage, or peripheral neuropathy. Imagine your nervous system as the electrical wiring of your house. The wires carry signals that tell your muscles how to move your feet, how to feel your balance, how to stay steady. But what happens when those wires fray short-circuit or lose their insulation? Lights flicker, appliances fail. And in your body, your legs begin to weaken. The signs are easy to miss at first: tingling toes, a burning sensation in the feet, or the strange feeling that you're walking on a sponge. Over time, these signals get worse: numbness, loss of balance, even dangerous fall. One of my patients, Martha, a 70-year-old grandmother, came to me because she kept tripping in her own kitchen. She said, "Doc, it feels like my feet don't belong to me anymore." After some tests, we discovered she had peripheral neuropathy from long-standing diabetes. Her blood sugar had silently damaged the nerves in her legs for years. And here's the truth: neuropathy affects nearly 1 in 3 seniors, especially those with diabetes, vitamin deficiencies, or long-term alcohol use. High blood sugar literally poisons the nerves over time. And low vitamin B12, which is essential for healthy nerve function, leaves those wires exposed and fragile. Even common medications like acid reflux drugs taken for years can deplete B12 and worsen nerve damage. Now let's talk about the mistakes I see. Too often people ignore the early warning signs. They think, "Oh, it's just pins and needles or tabao," or "I probably slept funny on my leg." They wait until the numbness is constant, and by then the damage is much harder to reverse. Others try to mask the problem with pain pills without addressing the root cause: blood sugar, B12, or alcohol. So what can you do to protect your nerves and your legs? 1. Control blood sugar. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, managing your blood sugar is absolutely critical. Every spike in glucose is like acid dripping on your nerves. Keep it steady. 2. Boost B12. Eat foods rich in vitamin B12: eggs, dairy fish, and leafy greens. And if you've been on acid reflux medications or metformin for years, ask your doctor about a B12 blood test. Sometimes injections are necessary to restore healthy levels. 3. Limit alcohol. Alcohol is a toxin for your nerves. Cutting back or quitting can make a world of difference. 4. Stimulate the nerves. Gentle foot massages, warm soaks, and even walking barefoot on safe, soft surfaces can help improve nerve function. 5. Check your feet daily. If you have neuropathy, you may not feel injuries. A small blister can turn into a major infection. Inspect your feet like you would check your car's tires before a long trip. And here's a piece of encouragement. Martha, the patient I mentioned earlier, started monitoring her blood sugar more closely, added B12 supplements, and made foot care part of her nightly routine. Within a few months, her balance improved, and she told me, "Doc, I feel my feet again." The lesson here is simple but powerful. Your nerves may be silent, but they're not invisible. Treat them with care, feed them the right nutrients, and they will reward you with steadier steps, safer walks, and fewer falls. Don't wait until your legs give out beneath you. Pay attention to the whispers, the tingles, the burning, the numbness, because those whispers are warning bells. And if you act now, you can quiet them before they become a roar. Now let's look at another hidden reason for weak legs, one that surprises many senior spinal problems. Most people don't realize it, but your spine is like the main highway, carrying nerve signals from your brain down to your legs. When that highway gets pinched, narrowed, or damaged, your legs pay the price. Think about conditions like herniated discs, spinal stenosis, or years of poor posture. All of these can press on the nerves that travel from your lower back into your legs. The result: pain that shoots down the leg, numbness in your feet, or one leg suddenly weaker than the other. Let me share a story. George, a 65-year-old retired truck driver, came to me complaining of sharp, electric-like pain running from his lower back all the way to his right calf. He told me, "Doc, sometimes my leg just gives out under me." After an MRI, we found he had a herniated disc pressing on the sciatic nerve. He wasn't dealing with just back pain, his entire leg was suffering because the control wires from his spine were under attack. And this is where many seniors go wrong. They assume leg weakness is just muscle loss, so they push harder at the gym or try to walk through the pain. But if the root cause is spinal, that approach can actually make things worse. Others sit for hours in recliners thinking rest will help, but prolonged sitting often puts more pressure on the lower back, not less. Here's what you can do instead. 1. Gentle stretching. Simple movements like the knee-to-chest stretch, seated spinal twists, or cat-cow yoga poses can relieve pressure and keep the spine flexible. 2. Avoid sitting too long. If you must sit, use a lumbar support cushion and set a timer to get up every 30 minutes. Even standing for a minute helps reduce spinal compression. 3. Strengthen your core. A strong core supports the spine and takes pressure off the lower back. This doesn't mean sit-ups. It can be as gentle as pelvic tilts, bird dog exercises, or standing marches. 4. Watch your posture. Slouching, leaning forward, or carrying heavy bags unevenly can strain your spine. Think of posture as your body's alignment system. When it's off, everything else wobbles. And most importantly, know when to seek medical help. If you notice pain radiating from your back into one or both legs or sudden weakness on one side, don't ignore it. These are red flags that need proper testing like an MRI and sometimes specialist care. Here's the encouraging part. George, my truck driver patient, started physical therapy focused on gentle stretches and core strengthening. We adjusted his sitting habits and added daily walks. Within 4 months, he was back to mowing his lawn without pain shooting down his leg. He told me, "Doc, I never thought my back had so much power over my legs." And he was right. Because the lesson here is simple, your legs don't work alone. They depend on the health of your spine. If the communication between your brain and your muscles gets interrupted, no amount of protein or exercise will fix it until you care for your back. So if you want stronger legs after 60, remember this truth. Sometimes the key isn't in your thighs or calves, it's in your spine. Have you ever been jolted awake in the middle of the night by a sudden stabbing leg cramp? Or felt your legs shaky and weak out of nowhere? If so, you may be facing one of the most overlooked causes of leg weakness, electrolyte imbalance. Your muscles aren't powered by willpower alone. They run on electricity, tiny electrical signals that depend on minerals like magnesium and potassium. Without enough of these, the current sputters, the muscle fibers misfire, and suddenly you're left with cramps, twitching, or weakness. One of my patients, Linda, age 74, came to me exhausted. She said, "Doc, I drink water all day, but my legs keep cramping every night. I can't even sleep through the night anymore." After a few simple blood tests, we found her potassium levels were low. The culprit, a diuretic medication for her high blood pressure, which was flushing potassium right out of her system. Once we adjusted her diet and added potassium-rich foods, the cramps eased and she finally started sleeping again. Here's what the science tells us. Potassium helps regulate muscle contractions and your heartbeat. Too little and you may feel weak, dizzy, or experience irregular heart rhythms. Magnesium acts like the body's relaxation mineral. Without it, muscles become tense, overactive, and prone to painful spasms. And here's a mistake I see often: seniors believe that drinking water alone will solve cramps. Hydration is important, yes, but if your minerals are low, water just dilutes the problem. Another mistake. Relying solely on supplements without checking blood levels. Taking too much potassium or magnesium can be dangerous, especially if you have kidney issues. So, what's the smarter path? Let's focus on food first. For potassium, bananas, oranges, spinach, avocados, and even baked potatoes with the skin. For magnesium, almonds, cashews, dark chocolate beans, and whole grains. For a gentle nightly ritual, a warm bath with Epsom salts, which allows magnesium to absorb through the skin, relaxing your muscles before bed. And don't forget balance. Sodium, calcium, and vitamin D3 also play supporting roles in muscle health. It's like an orchestra. If one instrument is out of tune, the whole performance suffers. I'll give you a powerful image. Think of your muscles like light bulbs. Potassium and magnesium are the wires and switches that keep the light steady. If the current flickers, the light dims or goes out suddenly in a painful spasm. By restoring balance, you don't just stop the cramps, you bring light back into your legs. Linda, the patient, I mentioned earlier, now swears by her daily smoothie, half a banana, a handful of spinach, some Greek yogurt, and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. She tells me, "Doc, I haven't had a midnight cramp in weeks. I finally feel safe going to bed." And that's the lesson here. It's not always about doing more exercise or pushing harder. Sometimes it's about giving your body the tiny minerals it needs to function. When you feed your muscles the right fuel, they reward you with steadier steps, calmer nights, and stronger days. So, if you're battling cramps, twitching, or unexplained weakness, don't ignore it. Look at your minerals. Because sometimes the difference between shaky legs and steady ones comes down to a handful of nuts, a piece of dark chocolate, or a banana at breakfast. Now let me share with you a secret that too many seniors overlook: the power of vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. When patients come to me with weak legs, they often expect me to talk about exercise or protein. And yes, those are crucial. But what if your body isn't absorbing the minerals it needs to make those muscles strong? That's where D3 and K2 step in. Here's the science in simple terms. Vitamin D3 helps your body absorb calcium from food. Without D3, much of the calcium you eat passes right through without being used. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic director. It tells calcium where to go into your bones and teeth rather than into your arteries. Now think about the danger if you're missing one or both. Without enough D3, your muscles feel weak and achy. Without enough K2, calcium hardens in your blood vessels, making circulation worse. The result, legs that are not only weaker but also at higher risk of cramps, fractures, and even heart problems. I'll give you a story. A patient of mine, Ellen, age 69, complained that despite eating yogurt and cheese daily, she still felt weak and had suffered 2 small fractures in just a few years. We tested her vitamin D and it was shockingly low. She rarely went outside, always wore long sleeves, and thought her diet was enough. After adding a D3 plus K2 supplement along with safe sun exposure, her strength and bone density began to improve. And here's the reality: nearly 40% of older Americans are deficient in vitamin D. Why? Because as we age, our skin produces less D3 from sunlight. Add in sunscreen, indoor lifestyles, and long winters, and you've got a recipe for deficiency. Mistakes I see all the time. Seniors take calcium supplements alone, thinking it will protect their bones. But without D3 and K2, that calcium often ends up in arteries, not bones. Others rely solely on multivitamins, which often don't provide enough D3 or the right form of K2. Some avoid sun entirely, fearing skin cancer, but forget that safe, moderate exposure, 10 to 15 minutes on arms and face, can make a world of difference. So what can you do? 1. Check your levels. Ask your doctor for a vitamin D blood test. Knowing your baseline is powerful. 2. Eat smart. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines, egg yolks, cheese, and fermented foods like natto are natural sources of D3 and K2. 3. Get safe sunlight. Even a short daily walk outdoors helps your body produce natural D3, plus it boosts circulation and mood. 4. Consider supplements. If your doctor recommends them, choose a formula that combines D3 and K2 so calcium is absorbed and directed properly. I often tell my patients this analogy. D3 is the gatekeeper that lets calcium in, and K2 is the traffic cop that tells it where to go. Without them, the system falls apart. Ellen, the patient I mentioned now, walks every morning, gets her sunlight, and takes her D3 plus K2. She laughs and says, "Doc, I'm not just stronger, I feel like I have insurance for my bones." The lesson here is clear. Strong legs aren't built on muscle alone. They're built on the foundation of healthy bones and clear arteries. And that foundation depends heavily on D3 and K2. So if you've been focused only on exercise or protein, don't forget this silent duo. Because sometimes the strength of your legs depends not on what you do in the gym, but on what's missing from your bloodstream. Now let's pause for a moment. We've talked about the causes of weak legs, muscle loss, circulation and nerve damage, spine issues, missing minerals, and vitamins. But there's another piece of the puzzle, the mistakes we make without even realizing it. These mistakes silently accelerate the weakness, even when we think we're doing the right thing. I've seen these same patterns in my clinic time and time again. And I want to share them with you, not to criticize, but to help you avoid the pain and frustration that so many seniors face. Mistake number 1, eating too little protein out of fear. Many seniors tell me, "Doc, I cut back on meat to protect my kidneys." But unless you already have advanced kidney disease, drastically lowering protein can backfire. Instead of protecting your body, you starve your muscles. Remember, weak muscles put far more strain on your health than a balanced protein intake ever will. Don't fear protein. Spread it out 25 to 30 grams each meal, so your body can actually use it. Mistake number 2. Thinking rest is the answer to weak legs. I feel tired, so I'll just sit more. I hear this every week. The truth, rest without movement only weakens your legs further. Muscles are like bank accounts you can't keep withdrawing without making deposits, and movement is the deposit. Even if it's just 5 minutes of walking or chair exercises, every movement is money in the bank of your strength. Mistake number 3. Ignoring small warning signs, tingling toes, night cramps, a stumble here and there. Many brush these off as normal aging. But small problems grow big if ignored. A cramp could be a mineral imbalance. Tingling could be nerve damage. A stumble could be the first sign of balance loss. Listen to your body's whispers before they turn into screams. Mistake number 4. Over-relying on painkillers. Some patients load up on pills to dull the ache in their legs or back. But pain medication is like duct tape. It covers the crack but doesn't fix the foundation. Meanwhile, the root cause, poor circulation, spinal issues, or mineral imbalance goes untreated. Don't just cover the pain. Ask, why is it there? Mistake number 5. Believing falls are just part of getting old. Too many seniors accept falls as inevitable. But let me be clear, falls are not a normal part of aging. They're a sign that something deeper, muscle balance or nerves, is failing. And the cost of ignoring it can be devastating. Broken hips, lost independence, or worse. Every fall has a cause. Find it, fix it, prevent the next one. I'll share a quick story. John, 71, came to me after his second fall in 6 months. He told me, "Doc, I thought falling was just part of getting old." After evaluation, we discovered his vitamin D was severely low. His muscles were weak and his balance unsteady. With supplements, a strength routine, and walking practice, he hasn't had a fall in 2 years. He now tells his friends, "I didn't stop falling because I got lucky. I stopped because I got stronger." The lesson here is powerful. Weak legs are not just caused by time. They're caused by choices. The wrong habits speed up decline, the right ones slow it down. And at any age, you can choose differently. So ask yourself, which of these mistakes are you making today? And more importantly, what small correction can you start tomorrow? Because avoiding these pitfalls may be the difference between spending your 70s sitting in a chair or walking freely in the park with your grandchildren. Now that you understand the causes and mistakes, let's shift gears to something practical. How can you measure your leg strength at home? You see, many seniors wait until they have a serious fall before realizing just how weak their legs have become. But you don't have to wait for a crisis. There are simple, safe tests you can do right in your living room that give you a clear picture of where you stand, literally. Test number 1. The 30-second chair. Sit in a sturdy chair, cross your arms over your chest, and stand up fully, then sit back down as many times as you can in 30 seconds. What it tells you: this measures leg strength and endurance. Benchmarks: fewer than 8 stands. Your leg strength is very low. 10, 14. Rough average for most people over 65. 15 plus. Strong and above average. I had a patient, Susan, age 67, who could only manage 5 stands the first time she tried. She felt discouraged, but I reminded her this wasn't a failure, it was a starting line. With daily practice, she worked up to 12 stands within 3 months. Today, she's at 18. She proudly told me, "Doc, I can get up from my couch without pushing off with my arms." That's independence. Test number 2. The 4-meter walk test. Mark a short distance of about 4 meters, roughly 13 feet. Walk at your usual pace while someone times you. What it tells you: this measures gait speed, which is a surprisingly powerful predictor of overall health and longevity. Benchmarks: slower than a 0.8 meters per second suggests higher risk of mobility issues. 1 meter per second or faster is a sign of good health. Think of it like this: your walking speed is often called the 6th vital sign. Slow walking isn't just about your legs. It can reveal circulation, heart, lungs, and even brain health. Test number 3. Calf and thigh measurements. Take a soft tape measure and record the circumference of your calves and thighs. Write it down and check again every month. What it tells you: shrinking numbers may indicate muscle loss, sarcopenia. Even a half-inch loss over a few months should be a wake-up call. Test 4. The balance check. Stand near a counter or sturdy chair. Try balancing on 1 foot. See how long you last. Benchmarks: less than 5 seconds. Balance is poor, high risk of falls. 10-20 seconds. Moderate. 30 seconds. Excellent for seniors. One of my patients, James, age 72, couldn't last more than 3 seconds at first. We added simple daily balance exercises like standing on 1 foot while brushing his teeth. After 6 months, he could hold for 20 seconds. He laughed and told me, "Doc, now I feel steady walking across my lawn instead of wobbling like a drunk sailor." Why these tests matter? These aren't just numbers. They are windows into your future. If your scores are low, don't panic. It doesn't mean decline is inevitable. It simply shows where you need to focus. And the beauty is, with consistent practice, those numbers can and will improve. The lesson is this: don't guess about your leg strength, measure it. Because when you measure, you can manage. And when you manage, you can improve. So this week I challenge you, pick one of these tests, try it, and write down your results. Then repeat in a month. Watching those numbers climb may be the most motivating medicine you'll ever take. We've covered a lot together today, haven't we? From the silent thief of muscle loss, to the clogged rivers of poor circulation, to the frayed wires of nerve damage, to the fragile backbone that holds it all together, to the tiny minerals and forgotten vitamins that make the whole machine run. And here's the truth I want you to carry with you: weak legs are not inevitable. They are not a life sentence handed down by age. They are a signal that something in your body needs attention, care, and change. I've seen it with my own eyes, time and time again. Seniors who thought their best days were behind them, who believed their independence was slipping away forever, only to discover that with small, consistent steps they could rebuild strength, reclaim balance, and walk with confidence again. Take Bill, who fought back against sarcopenia with daily chair squats and more protein. Take Robert, who reversed his PAD symptoms by walking and quitting smoking. Take Martha, who regained feeling in her feet by controlling her diabetes and boosting her B12. Take Ellen, who strengthened her bones and muscles with vitamin D3 and K2. Take John, who stopped falling once he realized that weakness was not just aging, but a problem he could fix. Each of them proves one simple truth: you are never too old to get stronger. Now let me leave you with this thought. Your legs are more than muscle and bone. They are your freedom. They carry you up the stairs to hug your grandchildren across the yard, to smell your roses through the grocery store, with pride instead of fear. Strong legs mean independence, dignity, and the ability to live life on your own terms. So ask yourself, what choice will you make today? Will you ignore the signals hoping they go away? Or will you take action, small but powerful action, to build the foundation for a stronger tomorrow? Because the steps you take today, literally and figuratively, are the votes you cast for your future freedom. If you found value in what we shared today, don't keep it to yourself. Hit the like button, not for me, but so this message can reach other seniors who desperately need it. Share this video with a friend, a sibling, or even a neighbor you never know who might be one step away from a dangerous fall. And if you want more practical science-backed advice for staying strong, mobile, and independent, after 60 clicks subscribe and join our community. Finally, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments which of these 5 reasons surprised you the most. And what's the first step you'll take this week to strengthen your legs? Remember, your legs are your passport to freedom in your golden years. Protect them, nurture them, and they will carry you farther than you ever imagined.